Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Crypto, Coffee and Lo-Fi. Nothing much has changed since the previous episode. We are stuck inside this mid-time frame range, and I'm not really looking to take any positions here on Bitcoin, at least until one of the two scenarios that I'm looking for plays out. So initially, if you go back and look at the previous episode, I was just waiting for some clear-cut signs of accumulation inside this range or distribution, and we haven't really seen anything too obvious, and there hasn't been any setup that was good enough for me to take on Bitcoin, at least, right? So if you didn't watch the previous episode, basically from the daily through to the weekly, I'm bullish. I think that this uptrend that we saw here is going to continue. However, I do think that we might see a retest just below 50K. If we do get that retest and we do see some reaccumulation, something like this, then I will look to get back into my deep swing longs. But until then, I think we are just going to chop about in some of these ranges here. So if you're new here, I am just using one pattern to find accumulation and distribution, one pattern to find support resistance, and then I'm using that same pattern again as my entry trigger. So what is that pattern? You can think of it like a head and shoulders. So I look for a high, and then wait for that high to be swept. Once the high is swept, I look for price to break below the low that was responsible for taking the high. And then once we revisit this range, I then look for the same pattern to form again. Now it's a similar pattern in a bullish example. So I look for a low to be swept. I then wait for the high that's responsible for taking that low, wait for price to break above, and then I look for the same pattern to form again. So if you look on my chart here, you can see that it is just the same pattern drawn over and over again. So you can see since this last leg up here, we are yet to come back and test the previous area of accumulation, the area of accumulation that was responsible for this leg up. So if we are distributing on the time frame below this, so on the H4, it would lead me to assume that we are just distributing into a previous higher time frame level of accumulation. Trying not to confuse you all, but so pretty much recapping on the daily and weekly, I'm bullish. I think we do get a retest of this level. Pretty much just repeating myself from the previous episode, so just go and check that out. I don't want to just say the same things again, but today's scenario, really just marking out these ranges again and waiting to see if we can get a sweep of either side. So a bullish scenario would be a sweep of the previous day's low, followed by some reaccumulation. So something like this, a low, then breaking above the low, breaking some structure here, and then continuing up. If we can get something like this into this previous area of accumulation, then I'll look to get long. So really not trying to go too deep into this. If you are interested in anything that I'm explaining here, I go into much deeper detail in the strategy. So if you want that, you can click the link in the description. So for Bitcoin, waiting for a sweep of the previous day's low, or these are the bullish scenarios, right? Or a break above the range high like this, and then more reaccumulation here. So something like that, a sweep and then a break above. However, if we do get a sweep of this level and then some distribution, so something like that, then I'll look to get short into this low and even just below 50K. I'm really trying not to take any higher time frame positions here. Of course, I could be wrong and I could miss a majority of the move, but I would rather wait for a better opportunity to enter that has a higher likelihood of actually working out. So for now, I'm just sitting on my hands. Hopefully we see a sweep of either side of this range. Hopefully it's the low, then we can see reaccumulation. ETH, similar story. There are some clearer levels here on ETH though. So we swept out these lows, breaking above the high right here, getting a solid daily close above that high today, which is a good sign because we did get that daily close right above this level. This is now a bullish area of accumulation. So any kind of reaccumulation inside of this zone right here is bullish. So if we come back down into this range and then form some accumulation, so something like this, then we can look to get into swing longs on ETH. So ETH is looking much more bullish than Bitcoin at the moment, and you can see that clearly in the ETH BTC chart as well. So we may not get the deeper retrace here on ETH that I'm hoping for, but if we do, then you should see some prime opportunities. We could head up here into all-time highs right around the start of London, so something like this. We've just swept out that level there. So if we go onto the M5, yeah, so this is technically a valid setup. I will probably take this the second I get off of the video. So sweeping out lows, breaking above the high, sweeping out a low. As soon as we break up above this high, let's say we get an M15 close above this level, then I'll look to get long something like this into all-time highs. If this fails, then I think we head down a little lower, just marking out some levels. A lot of my strategy is just marking out the levels, then waiting for price to retrace to those levels. If I then see the reaction, so if I see a bullish reaction at a level, it would be bullish accumulation, right? So I'm just marking out bullish levels. If we then reach those levels and then accumulate, then I can look to get long. So sweeping out these lows, breaking above the high. If we can see some reaccumulation here, then I can look to get long. So something like this, sweep, break above, or at this level here. I'm thinking we do come down and test like 44 to 4,500, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. One thing that I wanted to take a quick look at is Alice. This is looking primed, okay, all the way. So there's a lot of room for this to move, okay? So I know I've gone over this in a previous episode, but I'm just compounding my position. Every time I see the reaccumulation on the H4, I'm just jumping into another position. So sweeping out this low, breaking above the high, sweeping out this low here, breaking above the high, right here, sweeping out this low, breaking above the high, returning. Now we're seeing a similar pattern form on the H4. So sweeping out all of these lows here, breaking above the high, then returning, sweeping out these lows. You can see this a little clearer on the M15, but I think you get the point. Breaking above the high, and then forming the same pattern again here late yesterday. So I've added to my long position, but if we do get a retracement down to around $20.50, I'll look for some more reaccumulation while then get to add to my position. However, I don't think that's going to happen. We have just broken out of this resistance here, so I don't think that we will get a deeper retrace. I think this is going to be it. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit $35 to $40 in the next few days. So keeping a good eye on this one. No worries, I'm going to cut the episode off there. Not really much to see on Bitcoin. We might see a scalp long on Ethereum here in a sec. If not, I think we get a slightly bigger retrace. Ethereum had the strong daily close, so any reaccumulation on the H1 or H4 that's obvious inside of this range here is a solid long. Other than that, if anything in this video interests you, click the link in the description below and pick up a copy of the strategy. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, show your support, drop, a video suggestion in the comments or something like that. No worries, guys. I'll see you on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day.